A major company with headquarters in Delaware is cutting $1 billion worth of salary, but we have a guest that says that's a good thing for the state. This is the Delaware Way. I'm Larry Menti. Welcome to the Delaware Way. The Republican Party is showing some life in Delaware. To talk more about that, Senator Brian Pettyjohn, who is representative, Republican in the 19th District, which is Sussex County. Thank you so much. I appreciate you being here.
Certainly.
You gave a speech at the Republican Convention in Delaware, the Delaware Republican
the Delaware Convention.
What did you say?
You know, really, it was reminding everybody that the Delaware Republican Party has made a lot of strides here lately in terms of gaining more support from Delawareans. But at the same time, we need to be cognizant that we represent a broad range of Delawareans here in Delaware, not just Republicans, Democrats, independents, and other parties as well. And when we are developing our messaging and the policy ideas, that we have to keep everybody in mind and not just Republicans.
Did Donald Trump, he likes to brag about the fact that he's bringing people over to the party.
Right.
Did that happen when the primary came to Delaware and it actually meant something this year?
Well, we had a lot of districts in Delaware that turned from Democrat to Republican. In fact, registration totals in Sussex County for the entire county flipped from majority Democrat to majority Republican leading up to the presidential primary. My Senate district, which goes from Bridgeville all the way to Long Neck, turned from majority Democrat to majority Republican, as well as a number of House representative districts in Delaware as well. So the answer to that is yes. I think there were a lot of people that wanted to change their registration to either vote for or against Donald Trump, depending on what they saw and what they wanted.
What does that tell you? I mean, the fact that so many people heard his message, were inspired by his message to the point where they either changed their registration or they just wanted to make sure that they were part of this race. Was it just interest in the race because it's in the media all the time, or is it that anger that we keep hearing about? You
know, I don't think it's necessarily anger. I think people are ready for change, some real change. We haven't had an economy that really picked back up yet. We're still having job losses in Delaware. We've lost an entire industry, and I think people are wanting to take a different look and give the other side a chance. To give the other message, the other side of the political conversation, really a chance to actually govern now, as opposed to being, the faithful, the faithful contradiction to what's been going on.
What do you say to other Republican office holders in the state from the Donald Trump phenomenon, how they can learn from that?
First of all, you have to listen. Listen to the voters. I mean, this is an election year that's like none other that we've experienced before. The message is different. You've got a non-establishment type candidate, somebody that wasn't groomed from a long time back to be president. So you've got a lot of things that are completely different this time, and it's incumbent upon us, Republican members of the General Assembly, Republicans and Democrats in general, to say, look, let's listen to what the people are saying. Let's listen to what's going on. We represent them.
You look at the numbers. I even read that News Journal article the other day about Democrats in the state and the Delaware Way, they kept calling it, and they almost coronated John Carney as the governor, and Brian Townsend, who's going to be on the show, as they have him being as the congressman. Where are the battles for the Republican? Are you giving up those seats?
No, we're not going to give up those seats. We've got a primary in the governor's race right now with Colin Bonini and Lacey Lafferty. Both bring certain talents to the game, when it comes to attracting different types of voters and their experience. So we're not giving up on that. With Hans Riegel, we're not giving up on the congressional seat either. We're going to fight those campaigns. We're going to fight to bring over as many voters as we can. Really, I think the biggest fight is going to be in the General Assembly. You see opportunity there. We see opportunity to pick up seats in the General Assembly.
And is that because the district's changing?
It's really because of the people that are in those districts. Again, they're wanting the change, and once we get to analyze the results from the Donald Trump presidential primary numbers, we're going to see where we possibly have some advantages there.
Donald Trump, are you supporting him?
The people of Delaware.
That's not what I asked.
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, he is our candidate, and I'm going to support him.
Does it bother you that there are many in the Republican Party who are not supporting him?
It's their right to do. Everybody has the right to pick whatever horse and bet on whatever horse they want. I really like John Kasich for a lot of different reasons. I like Ted Cruz for some reasons. You know, if you could take all those three of the top three candidates that were left in there and meld them together, you'd have a great candidate. You know, the voters of the United States, the Republican parties in the different states, seems like they're going to be choosing Donald Trump, and he's going to be the presumptive nominee. So we have to get behind him and support him so that you know, we have a shot to win the White House.
I want to get to the story that just shocked the world and made national news, certainly, and that was the death of Amy Joyner Francis in Howard High School. And now there's charges against 3 girls, and so that part of the investigation is over. Now I guess the question is, how do we protect students in these schools, especially from the type of bullying that can lead to a beating, and now we find a death? You're co-sponsoring a bill, an anti-bullying bill.
Well, it does 2 things. First, it lets parents know of a resource that's been available for a while, and it's the Office of the Ombudsman. When parents have an issue with bullying, they can contact the Ombudsman. They'll help them through the process, you know, not only with the school side, but also the criminal justice side if you know, rises to that level. The second part of that is to make it so that parents can make the decision and administrators can make the decision when it is a minor fight. And I'm talking about, you know, somebody getting, you know, something happens on the playground.
What decision are you talking about? Bringing in law enforcement?
Bringing in law enforcement when there's a minor fight, you know, not a pattern of bullying. But a minor fight that happens at school. You know, you know, I grew up and was in school in the 70s and 80s. You know, we had some, you know, playground tumbles, and, you know, somebody hit a ball and something happened, and, you know, you got in a little fight in the playground. You know, I can't imagine now having to have gone into the principal's office, having police called when that type of thing happened, you know, growing up back in the 70s and 80s. This will give the parents and the administrators that flexibility to say, if it is minor and it's a 3rd-degree assault, which is, you know, not real bodily harm, but whether or not to bring the police and law enforcement.
They don't have that ability now?
Not necessarily. They have to contact law enforcement when that happens.
But does that make it safer?
The safety really isn't a factor, because it is just a, you know, somebody gets hit, you know, not punched and beat up. You know, that would be involving the police. But this is for a little minor playground scuffle. And really the point of it is to, when you're a child, when you're a very young adult, to not have to bring law enforcement and get you in the criminal justice system so early.
Well, I hope it passes, because something has to be done. I appreciate you coming in. It was great to talk to you. Senator Brian Pettyjohn from Sussex County. Appreciate it. We're going to talk about AstraZeneca next and where all those jobs are going when the Delaware Way continues.